Okay, what's up, guys? In this video, we're going to talk about determining whether a triangle is congruent by side, 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 angle, angle, side, or angle, side, angle. There's a couple things we have to know before. I talked about this a little bit for some of my classes. We have something called the reflective property. So sometimes triangles are going to share the same side. The reflective property just means anything is congruent to itself. So when triangles share a side, that side is congruent. So when you look at this triangle, ABC and ACD, right, this side right here is shared by both triangles. So we would say that this side is congruent to itself. Okay, and then you could see, oh, we have side, side, side. So because of that, you can see that triangle ABC is congruent to triangle ACD. Okay. That's the reflective property. Any two triangles that share the same side, that side will be congruent to itself. And then we have vertical angles, which he's already talked about. So vertical angles are where the lines intersect. So here's where the lines intersect. So the angles opposite them are congruent. So these would be vertical angles, and those are congruent. Okay, so so what we're going to do is we're going to state whether or not a triangle is congruent and state how you know. Okay, so right here, it looks like this is a side that is shared by both triangles, this side right here. So we're going to say that's congruent because by the reflective property, right? Any side is congruent to itself. Okay, so what do we have here? It looks like we have, if we start with this one, side, 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 or we could say angle, side, side. Angle, side, side, which is not one of our triangle congruents. Or you could say, if you went the other way, you could say side, side, angle. Remember, our congruences, our total congruences are side, 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 angle, side, angle, and angle, angle, side. If it's not one of those, then it's not congruent. So this is side, side, angle, which is not up there. So this is not congruent. Side, side angle is not one of our congruencies. Okay, number 2. Well, once again, this side right here is congruent to itself by the reflective property. Okay, because both of those triangles share that side. So it looks like we have angle, side, angle. So these would be congruent by angle, side, angle. So these are congruent by angle, side, angle. Okay, number 3. Once again, this side is congruent to itself because of the reflective property. So that would be, looks like side, side, side. So this would be side, side, side. We have three sides that are congruent. So by side, 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 those triangles are congruent. Number 4. So number 4 looks like we have vertical angles. That's here and here because we're intersecting. So the lines opposite are vertical angles. And it looks like we have angle, side, angle. So this would be congruent by angle, side, angle. So that is congruent. All right, number 5. All right, so number 5, we have one side and one angle, but it doesn't look like we have anything else. We just have a side and an angle. So we only have 2 things. That's not enough to determine if the triangles are congruent. So these are not congruent. We don't have any other special types of angles, right? Not enough information to say those are congruent. Number 6, these are vertical angles, so that's congruent to that. Right? This is a right angle, so that's a type of angle, so that's congruent. So this would be congruent. We have angle, side, angle. So these would be angle, side, angle. Those are congruent. Okay, number 7, we have a side, side. Right? So it looks like this one, if we look at this one, it's angle, side, side again. Or you could say side, side, angle. Either way, right? those are not congruent because we do not have enough information. Side angle, right? This is side angle. That is not enough to say that the triangles are congruent. So this is not congruent. Number 8. Well, number 8, we have 3 sides, so that's side. So those are congruent. Because when you have 3 sides of one triangle congruent to 3 sides of another triangle, you could say the rest are congruent. Number 9, we have vertical angles because the lines are intersecting, so the angles opposite them are congruent. So it looks like we have side, angle, side, which is one of our special ones, so those are congruent. And then number 10, this is the reflective property. Those share a side, so this is side. Those are congruent. Okay, now number 11, or these next ones, they're gonna give us the congruency, and we're gonna say what information we need to prove that those are congruent. Okay, so right now this is the reflective property, so that's congruent. So if we wanted angle side angle, we would need to know that this angle, right? Right now we have angle side, right? So in order to have angle side angle, we would have to know that this angle is congruent to this angle, because then we would have angle side angle. So in other words, we would need to know that angle TUD is congruent to angle, right? That's this angle U in the middle, SUT. Okay, so side angle side. So once again, the reflective property says that these sides are congruent. So in order to have side angle side, right now we have side angle. So in order to have side angle side, I would have to know that this side is congruent to that side, because then we would have side angle side, right? Because we have side angle side. Okay, so in other words, we would have to know that XK is congruent to VW. All right, so here's number 13. We have side angle. So in order to have side angle side, we would have to know that this side is congruent to that one. So that would be AC is congruent to JL. Okay, so angle side angle. So we have angle. So in order to have angle side angle, that has to be between those sides. So we'd have to know that this side is congruent to that side. So cut this one off. It should be like that. Okay, so for this one, in order to have angle side angle, we'd have to know that DE is congruent to. So I don't think this one, JK. So I want to say this was J. So we're going to say JK. My worksheet cut off, so apologize. Okay, so for side angle side, right now we have side angle. So in order to have side angle side, I would have to have that this side is congruent to this side, because then it would be side angle side for both. So that's IJ would have to be congruent to TS. Okay, 16, we want angle side angle. Right now we have angle side, so in order to have angle side angle, we would need this angle is congruent to this angle, right? Which would be angle MLK is congruent to angle UTS. Okay, so for this one, we know that by the reflective property that this is equal to each other. So if we wanted side, we would have to have RS congruent to this one, because then we'd have side. So RS congruent to QD. All right, and then 18, well, we have vertical angles here because the lines intersect. So we have an angle here. So it looks like we have side angle. So to get the other side, it'd have to be right here and right here. Those would have to be congruent to each other. So we would have VW is congruent to VM. There we go. And we're done.